this video, I want to show you how I use Roam as my bullet journal. So if you don't know about Roam is a note-taking app, just like Evernote and Notion. I've been using Notion for quite a while in the past few months to keep my YouTube ideas and vlog ideas, and to keep my journal and to study as well. I've recently discovered Roam, and I've been using for my journaling, and I'm very impressed, and I've been loving it so far. And but if you want to know more about the basic of Roam, you should check out the YouTube channel by the founder. I think his name is Conor White-Sullivan. He has a YouTube channel, and I put a link to his channel in the description below. Anyways, let me just show you how I've been using Roam as my bullet journal. So Roam doesn't really have a rigid structure like in Evernote or Notion. It only has these three sections: daily notes, graph overview, and all pages. And what I like to do each morning is my morning journaling routine. So in order to do that, I just type in morning routine and shift click this, and this brings my template for morning routine, and you can just copy and paste and you can start writing. So the first question is, what am I grateful for? This is a typical mindfulness exercise. It really helps you to stop taking things for granted, and it makes you happy as well. So it can be anything. It can be your, I don't know, partner for something, and your family. And then the next question is, what do I want today's highlight to be? This helps you identify that one thing that makes you content at the end of the day, even if you fail to finish other tasks. So for me, it is, I don't know, publish a video about Roam. And the third question, well, this is not really a question, but it's a daily affirmation. So I sometimes write like, I focus on what I can control, because it's pointless to worry about what you can't control. And this works as kind of like a reminder for myself to focus on what I can control, what really matters. And the final question is, what am I thinking of? This is based on the idea of brain dump. So brain dump is kind of like a technique to clear your mind by dumping all the contents in your mind. So you can write about what you are worried about. So it can be like, I don't know, exam or meeting or your essay assignment, anything that you're worried about. Or you can write about what you are excited about. So it can be like meeting up with your friends, anything. So it's not really limited to these things, but you get the idea. You just have to write on everything in your mind, usually like what you're stressing or what you're worrying about. So that's my morning routine. So let me just close this template. And as I go about my daily activities, I sometimes get like ideas and inspirations and thoughts. And when it happens, I just write like a thought, and then write my idea below, like that. And then this will create a page called thought, and in this page you can see all the thoughts you had in the past. So yesterday I thought like I should make a master task base and use filter more. So another thing that I often do is to record what kind of books or articles I read. So for example, I read How to Take Smart Notes. It's a fantastic book I've been reading, And again, you can write what you thought about the book. So great. Well, obviously this is fun. This is bad example, but you get the point. And finally, at the end of each day, what I want to do is to do my evening reflection. So to do that, type evening reflection and shift click, and you see this template I made. So just copy and paste. There you go. So you usually have 5 questions I would like to ask myself before going to bed. The first question, daily logs, is exactly what it sounds like, and just recording what you did, what happened in the day. So I don't know, you can write about what time you woke up, what you had for lunch, or who you talked to, or what you talked about, and what books you read, how you felt, or how you reacted to each event. It feels really nice to record and write down, and sort of helps you remember what you did in your day. And the second question is, what are the amazing things that happened today? Another typical question from gratitude exercise. So for example, you can write about, met an old friend, and I don't know, discovered amazing book, something like that. And the third question is, what did I learn today? This is based on the idea of the active record method, which is a very powerful memorization technique. So the idea is that it's basically a process of remembering information without looking up in your notes or online. And by recording, you can move information from short-term to long-term memories. So I don't know, for example, I can write about econometrics because I love it, and I don't know, media variable bias, something like that. And then I also can write about blog, and then that I should use email. There's more to build audience or whatever. So you get the idea. You just write down things you learned without looking up in articles or online. And if you click this page of what I've learned, you can see all the things you learned in the past. So yesterday I learned about gratitude, and it's much more than something that makes you happier. I also learned about mindset, fixed versus growth mindset, and yeah, it's really useful that you can see all these things in one page. And so I usually take like 1 hour every weekend to review these things. And the next one is positivity score, which is a silly thing I've been keeping for the past few months. It's basically about, it's a score about how well I followed my principles. So was I positive enough, or was I cheerful? Was I patient? Was I self-disciplined enough? Those principles are mine, and I can just make slider for that. And then, I don't know, it can be like 8 or 9, depends on how well I sort of behaved in that day. And the last question is, what could I have done better? Pretty standard question. So I can write like smile more. That's terrible. And I can write, I don't know, use time document to be more productive, something like that. So that's how I do my bullet journaling on Roam. I have a bunch of templates like this, and you can change these questions depending on your preferences. And I think you can do so much more than just journaling. For example, I made like a to-do list yesterday, which I'd like to cover in the future video. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.